Hello guys, welcome back for another video, and in this one I'm going to show you a new extension that I made which will basically allow you to create Matplotlib and generate Matplotlib figures directly within Inkscape. Okay, so once you installed, you will have like the extension inside render, and it will be called Matplotlib figure generator. Okay, just click on it, you will be able to see this UI, and the extension works as follows. So there is three modes. First mode is inline code, so you just need to copy and paste your code here, and you will be able to create this. You can create an SVG or PNG. So PNG is just like a fixed resolution raster image, and SVG it's vector format, and everything inside the figure can be changed. So if we go for format and go for PNG, we'll see that this will create just simple image. Okay, with a fixed resolution, and if we zoom in, the actual quality of the rendered image will be decreased. Okay, so now quite nice. We have like this two plots with subplots that was made with subplot, and as you can see, when we zoom in, start to get like blurry zone and loss of quality. Okay, if we do not want this, what we can do is, and if we also want to change the figure, we do the same, but instead of having PNG, we do SVG. Okay, we click on apply, and this will create the figure the same, but this time the figure will be a SVG. We can zoom in as we want, and we can also change everything inside the figure. That's the most important part. Okay, so if I ungroup everything here, you will see that I can basically change everything, and I can zoom, and I do not lose any quality, okay, rendered here. And now what I can do is, if I ungroup definitely everything, I can, if I want, for example, like change the color of those bars. Of course, we need like to, let's change those. This needs to be like more like with a more thinking process, but you get the idea. If I want to change this color of this wave sign, I can also sine wave. Let's make it like green. Yeah, cool. As you can see, we can change. We can delete stuff also. It's like this. Okay, so everything that is doable inside Matplotlib can be done directly in Inkscape, and everything can be changed, and you can also add like anything that you can add in Inkscape, okay, with your figure. Okay, so now let me show you like the two other modes that we can add with this extension. So second mode is external file. So for example, instead of having to copy and paste, I want to work with a script that I have already, and that is working by itself. Okay, so let me show you like what I mean by this. So in the code template of this extension, there is Python code that is, the name is publication ready, and this code is basically like Python file with everything inside it for creating your figure. Okay, and it works by itself. If you use it with Python, you will be able like to create your figure. But now what we're going to do is load this figure directly with Inkscape. Okay, and to do so, what we do is we go to external file, and we just load the file that we want to use inside, and we apply. Okay, and the generation will depend on the like complexity of your graphs. Like in our case now, it will take a couple of seconds because like the graph is much more complex than the first graph, but it will still work if it's working inside your normal Python environment. It will still work, and you will see your nice figure here. Okay, so as you can see, quite nice figure with like panel figure with like subplots. And since it's still SVG, everything inside can be changed. Just need to ungroup everything. And once we ungrouped everything, what we can do is we can like just, for example, there's like small, too much like overlapping here. So we can have like something like this. For example, if you do not like the title, just can get rid of it. And for some reason, I want this maybe to be, let's say, green. So I can make it green, yeah, as you can see, okay? So everything inside can be changed, okay? So let's delete this. And another things about this option is that you can use it with a template. What I mean by template is the following. Okay, so let's go back to the Matplotlib. So this can load a template script that will work with the data import. So data import allow you to load a CSV, a text, a TXT, JSON, or Excel, and this will be basically added at the preamble of your template file. So it will add the import, it will add the data, and its scripts, template script that you have, will have access to those available variable. Okay, so let me show like what does this mean. So here we have like a template, basically use data, and it's basically like using this CSV. Okay? It's just a CSV with models with different accuracy and different like columns that like show like performance and training time and inferences. Okay, number of parameters, and yeah, basically like what you do in machine learning when you like compare different type of. Okay, quite simple. And for example, if you use it, if you know that you are going to use the same scheme for your figure, it's nice to have a template, and this is exactly what we are building here. Okay, you just need to have like your logic here. You don't need to add the import, you don't need to add the data, just the logic. And you also do not need to have like the figure saved, since it will be loaded inside Inkscape. Okay, so once we do this, what we can do is make sure to click on this, click also on the fact that our CSV do headers. If your CSV do not have headers, you just like can just unclick on this, and you make sure to have like load all the columns. You can of course load column. You can have like a different values. So for X and Y data, basically you can have like for Y data, it can be like first 3 columns, for example. So it can be like this, and for example, the so X column can be first 3, and Y column can be like the last one. For example, if it's like features and probabilities, for example. Okay, actually quite often we use like something like this. But in our case, we're just gonna load all the columns that we want to be able to use the full data frame with all the columns inside. Okay. And what we do is make sure that we clicked on every option that was required, and we did for the data import. And now what we do is just go to external file, and this time we're going to load the template script for modules. Okay, let's do it. Great. And now what we're going to do is we're going to apply this, and you will see that it will be creating basically two histogram with the performance of the model. And as I mentioned here, we did not like just use, we just like use the logic of the function, and basically the extension just like added data and the input for all cells. Okay, so this is all this option work. So let's see what we did. Okay, model not here. So let's go to the import. Yeah, as you can see, I did not load the correct CSV. So let's go and load the correct CSV. And if we click on apply, now it will work and will generate those two histograms that we saw in the the script. Okay. Yeah, perfect. It's loading those two. And since it's CSV, SVG, sorry, you can, like, as I mentioned, change everything that is inside there. Okay. For some reason, I want this here. I want to place this here, and for some reason, I knew that I will have something here. I can do like whatever I want and place like elements where I think it will best suit Canva. Okay, great. And the last option is quite similar with the one that we just saw. It's bank script. Okay, and the bank script is basically like things that you have script that you have. Basically, it's similar to templates, but you basically it's a small script that you just like save and you can reuse. And I've already like provided some. So for example, line plots. I have like a couple of plots that are available. Not all of them are working. Currently working on adding all of those, but with time they will be available and more will be available. Okay. So for example, if we want a basic line plot, what we do is we go on script and we go on script bank, make sure to have those selected, and we just import our data, and we need to make sure that the data is actually good for the line plot. Okay. Then we make sure that this is clicked, this is also clicked, and now we do not need to load all the data, just need to load the first column and the second column. And the first column will play the row of X, and the second column will play the row of Y. Okay. And now if we apply, you will see that this will create a figure based on this template here. Okay, it's loaded X data and Y data because it was provided by the code, and it was based on this CSV. Okay, quite simple, but as I mentioned, for simple and repeatable script, it's actually quite convenient to have those kind of data and CSV in place, because you know that, for example, in your research, in your paper, in your courses, you often like create similar figures all the time, or create like almost similar scheme. So you can just like prepare the script once and then have it ready for all the time. Okay, and as you can see, this is created. Okay, quite nice. And now let's go to the UI just a little bit. So we tackle those two and tackle also this data import, but there is like the preamble that basically is added, as I mentioned at the beginning, but you can add like additional import and you can also customize the code. Okay, quite simple. So there is also a format, which will basically like handle the formatting and the size of the figure. So you can have like SVG, PDF, and PNG for the figures. And for SVG and PDF, you will be able to change the figure. But for PNG, it will be fixed. And this is for like making basically the figure bigger or smaller. Okay. And this is used, DPI is used for PNG only. It's for the resolution. Okay. You can also have like those common like option, transparent background, type layout, or untrained layout. Okay. Just click on those if you want. You can play with it to like see what is the result on your plot. Okay. You can also have like style, you know, like a different type of style that you import at the beginning. Most of the time we import Cyborg or ggplot, also quite common. For color map, you can have this, and yeah, you can have a set of colors like this, cycle. You can choose the background color that you have inside your plots, and have grids. You can have like the alpha transparency, basically that the argument. So the grid is not